Hello and happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm meteorologist Rich Marriott, and this is Weather Out West, the hour-long show that walks you through what's happening weather-wise across the western U.S. We'll have the latest forecast from the Pacific Northwest to the Mountain West, and California to Arizona in the Southwest. We start today in Phoenix, where they have a weather impact alert for extreme heat. They're feeling. Their meteorologist, Crystal Long, tells us about the possibility of record-breaking temperatures that they're expecting in the next few days.
Happy Friday. I'm meteorologist Crystal Long in Phoenix, and August is making an extreme entrance. Talking about extreme heat here, kicking in today, extending through tomorrow. And by the way, there's already some watches out. That's a big old heads up that even more extreme heat is on the way next week. This is what August is supposed to look like in a nutshell in Phoenix. We usually have a warm wake-up call between 82 and 85, a high temperature that hits between 104 and 106. That's kind of hilarious. We're pulling that off at lunchtime and just continuing to soar past it lately. But look at the rainfall. August is typically our rainiest month out of the entire year. Come on, monsoon, get your act together, get us some rain so we could cool down, because temperatures are taking off to some heights that you're going to find next week that rival our hottest temperatures of the year yet. Already today, we're starting to creep up on records at 113 for your called for high. Tomorrow, I'm forecasting 114, which knocks out our 2011 record. Then Sunday, we slip from the realm of records, but still, we're closer to record territory than the seasonal standard. And then, are you ready for this? Already on record watch for next week, calling for 115 on Wednesday and 116 on Thursday. Both of those would be record setting. Also, won't be surprised if we see additional extreme heat warnings go out, and wouldn't be surprised if it goes beyond those 2 days. That's just as far as we take you in the 7-day. Oh, today's enough already. 113 in Phoenix has a spelling Friday a little bit different. How about F-R-Y, huh? 112 in Havasu, Century Mark with your name on it, Kingman, low 90s in Payson. Even the cool pines of Flagstaff above average there at 84. You also can't quite take those numbers on the thermometer at face value today. Looks a little deceiving because dew points are in the 50s, so it makes it feel a little bit stickier, a little worse than it actually reads. We have just enough monsoon moisture to set off additional showers and thunderstorms. Again, the favored spot is going to be eastern Arizona. Some could slip away in northern Arizona. Man, rain would be nice if that's all we could get, but it comes with all the other hazards of lightning, gusty winds, and blowing dust. As we look ahead to your weekend health hazards, our air quality is expected to stay moderate. Allergy index, that's still high. UV index, slap on the sunblock because it's extreme. Burn time is just 10 minutes. The heat risk does jump to major, and you could probably skip the bug spray. The mosquito index is low right now. Here it comes, 114 on Saturday in the Valley, 112 on Sunday. This weekend was made for spending time in the pool. We are cranking up the heat in the mountains too into the 90s. We'll even come close to 90 degrees in Flagstaff on Sunday. Speaking of Flagstaff, let's extend that forecast for you a little bit more. So we're watching out for a stray shower or storm today. We will start to see monsoon give you some more chances next week, but temperatures remain above average here for you. Most of the 7 days filled up with those highs in the upper 80s. Then, your first August 7-day for the Valley is coming in red hot. So we have a 12 News weather impact alert for that extreme heat warning today and tomorrow, rightfully so. Look at those highs, but also look at the lows. Some of our wake-up calls, boy, are they going to be warm in the 90s. I've already highlighted Wednesday and Thursday of next week because it's even hotter than the episode we have going on right now. So keep your ears perked. I'm sure I'll be shouting out about more extreme heat warnings to come.
And while Phoenix is dealing with the extreme heat, Denver is just getting out of the crazy weather. Meteorologist Kathy Sabin has more on the calmer and warmer weather that you can expect going into the weekend.
Hello from Denver, Colorado. We are staring right into a Friday and a weekend with calmer, warmer weather after a week of crazy thunderstorms around here. The clouds have been spectacular, but these clouds have also brought the threat of heavy flooding rain over the course of the last 72 hours. And then on Wednesday, we had a rare tornado touch down at 8,000 feet near the town of Westcliff. A lot of our viewers sending in pictures and video of this amazing weak little landspout tornado. No damage or injuries, but it's been a wild week of weather here in Colorado. Now the plume of moisture that's been overhead is shifting in response to building high pressure. So we're headed back into the summer heat over the next few days, but there's still enough residual moisture that with heating of the day, we have about a 20 to 30% chance of seeing some thunderstorms bubble up this afternoon. We have a level 1 out of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center for storms that may have more than just rain, potentially damaging wind and even some hail. It will be a little bit warmer and drier today. We have a mostly sunny start, clouds drifting from west to east, and by the time we get to about 2 o'clock this afternoon, 1 or 2 of these storms could cross over the urban corridor. A brief shower, a rumble of thunder, but again, the severe threat is low for Denver. The storms could turn heavier and stronger, probably moving into the 6 and 7 o'clock hours out around Sterling, Kit Carson, and into Springfield. And then we clear out and we warm up for the weekend. Other than the smoke and haze coming in here from wildfires burning in Utah and Arizona, a really good looking forecast over the next few days. We start in the 60s today, warm to the mid 80s, average high is 90. We get there Saturday, low 90s on Sunday, and then summer heat is back, mid to upper 90s. Record high temperatures are possible into the middle of next week, which is the first full week of August.
So is there some sort of a magical, rain shield around the Denver metro area? Over the last few weeks, it feels like a lot of those storms have kind of bypassed Denver, Boulder, and Fort Collins. So let's get into the numbers and some of the meteorology behind this. First of all, in Denver, in the month of July, we only picked up about a quarter of what we typically get over the full month, with about 2/3 of an inch of rain. That is about a third, I should say a little less than a third of what we typically get over the full month. And in fact, it was our driest July since 2021, driest July in 4 years for us in the Denver area, and also top 30 driest July on record. Records date back 150 plus years. In Boulder, same-ish idea, though not quite as intense as what we saw here in Denver. We were about half of where we should be in terms of our July rainfall for us in Denver. So, is there some sort of a Denver storm shield? The last time we had a quarter inch or more of rain in Denver, you got to go back a full month to July the 1st. That's the last time we had a quarter inch or more in a single day for us here in the Denver area. And in July, as I mentioned, we finished 1.5 inches below average in terms of that rainfall here in the month of July here in Denver. Boulder, you got to go back over 2 weeks for the last time they picked up even 1/10 of an inch of rain. In Boulder, typically a little rainier than Denver because of your location in the foothills. So overall, we've had a drier look to things. However, the one spot that has been notably wetter than the rest of the I-25 corridor, Greeley, which picked up another strong storm yesterday, over 2 inches of rain in July, over 1.5 inches is the average July rainfall. So there's a little bit of a storm shield over the Denver area, but the good news is not everybody has been dry. Greeley, Colorado Springs finishing with above average July rainfall, but Denver and Boulder, it's been dry, and if this keeps up, we may be looking at drought conditions here in the metro area in the not too distant future.
Really fascinating rainfall stats, Chris. Those are the conditions exactly why we look at the drought monitor every Thursday here on Weather Out West. Coming up next, we're going to be looking at forecasts for California and the Pacific Northwest. Don't go away. Welcome back. You may be feeling dry and hot after our past 2 forecasts, but now we head to Spokane, Washington, which after ending July with some of the hottest summer temperatures they've seen, the heat breaks just in time for a street fair this weekend. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick joins us out of studio, but he has some warnings for some storms are tracking their way.
I'm meteorologist Thomas Patrick out of Spokane, Washington, but coming to you live from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho today because we have the street fair happening all weekend long. We're kind of by the food vendor area, but it actually goes 6 more blocks down into the distance. I mean, think Park Fair, part large farmers market and all fun. We've actually been out here this morning just seeing all the busy bees just setting everything up, and it's incredible to see basically everything lifted up from the ground up to make for an awesome weekend ahead. Of course, everybody asking what the weather is going to be like, and honestly, the beach has been a popular place behind me here as well. Might still be popular, but not as hot as it has been to finish off the month of July. But still topping our weather headlines is the chance for a shower or thunderstorm today. That's what's still consistent around the Spokane area in the inland Northwest as well as North Idaho, is another pop-up scattered random shower or thunderstorm, but the heat does back off for today. Doppler radar has been very active the last couple days. A lot of thunderstorm activity, especially in the later afternoon and early evening hours, but that has calmed down as of this morning. In fact, we got a rainbow visible from Coeur d'Alene early on this morning. Beautiful stuff to kick off the day, but you also see the lightning strikes that we had from last night as well. Let's take you to a live picture outside. I believe last I saw this in the weather graphics, we were actually looking at Lake Coeur d'Alene, but we have that and the Spokane area. There's the pavilion right there in the foreground. It is a bit cloudier this morning than it has been recently, taking the edge off of the heat, but again, a lot of moisture is enough to give us those shower and thunderstorm chances for the rest of the afternoon. So here's Doppler radar, as I mentioned, very active the last 48 hours or so. More active, early evening, but plenty of thunderstorms even occurring after midnight from last night. That really fizzled out by the time we got to this Friday morning. Still some sprinkles here or there, but we will see this fire back up in the heat of the day. Any sunshine that's able to peek through these clouds is going to help to energize the atmosphere and give you those pop-up showers and storms, mainly over the mountains first because they stick up and above that temperature inversion layer. So that's why an area like Okanagan County as well as Ferry and Stevens County are under the flash flood watches through 8 o'clock tonight. Maybe not necessarily for the cities themselves, but the burn-scarred areas of the mountains and the high terrain would be very susceptible to not only flash flooding, but even debris flows and landslides. So that would be the hazard for those regions, primarily with any strong thunderstorms that hit those burn scars specifically. But it might only be a coin flip chance just because of the scattered nature. It's not widespread, it's just scattered in terms of where those storms will and won't hit. But in terms of temperatures here, we're looking at mid-80s this afternoon across eastern Washington, which is about 10 degrees lower than it was yesterday. But that actually puts us right about back on average for early August standards here. Now for the weekend ahead, well, today's our best chance for showers and storms. The weekend features a lot more dry weather. Any showers that might try to linger on Saturday morning, those will end very quickly. So really, both Saturday and Sunday are looking absolutely clear and sunny and still a little bit warm. So temperatures will be in the mid to upper 80s through this weekend and then shade back into the low 80s next week.
Well, moving farther inland, Boise is tracking some remnant scattered showers from yesterday's heavy rain. Tyson White has more.
Well, hi there, I'm Tyson White from KTVB out here in Boise, and we are taking a look at some photos submitted to our Idaho Weather Watchers Facebook page of a beautiful sunset, kind of a evolving sunset here. This was in McCall at Lake Payette. Just really nice shots there from Mark Helms for posting these. Look at all that color in those shots too. Some folks splashing around in the water there as well. Just a beautiful shot over Lake Payette and the main marina. Gosh, it keeps getting better too. Look at that. Even the darker images are looking nice out there. We may be seeing a few more of those sunsets coming this weekend as we have another chance of those showers over the central mountains, southern portions of Idaho and eastern Oregon as well. Taking a look at the satellite radar today, so far things are calm. We do see the moisture out there. We've had the humidity up about 65% around the Boise area so far this morning, and today we'll continue to see those chances push through. Futurecast will paint a better picture of that as we push it through to this afternoon. We'll see those showers and thunderstorms popping up between McCall near the Cambridge and the New Meadows area, as well as Riggins. And then as we push through the evening hours, we'll see a scattered shower or two pop up south of Twin Falls along the Idaho, Oregon, and Nevada borders there. And then overnight, we could see another shower pop through the valley locations. Maybe Jerome see a sprinkle or two out there. And then into tomorrow, that shower chance bubbles up again in the central mountains as well as the southern mountains there over the Owyhees. We'll continue to see that as that system slowly makes its way eastward. Daytime highs for yesterday got a little bit warmer, 97 out there in Ontario, 95 in Mountain Home, but Twin Falls and Stanley, they were kind of in the low to upper 80s. They saw those daytime highs around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon because that later yesterday afternoon, we saw thunderstorms roll through both those areas, dropping temperatures about 20 degrees in both Stanley and Twin Falls. So some of those storms really put out some significant weather effects out there. Gusts yesterday too. We saw 35-mile-per-hour gusts here in Boise, 30 out there in Ontario and the Cobble area. But down in Twin Falls, they were up around 40 miles per hour. And then just east of Twin Falls, near the Hanson Bridge, we saw a gust up about 68 miles per hour out there. So those storms are really volatile in a lot of different places. Not every place saw those storms, but it's going to be kind of the case as we go through the rest of this weekend. Skycam 7 here in the Boise area looking really nice. However, we are seeing some hazy skies because of some of the fires that we've been seeing in our area. We have a range fire just south of Boise that burned about a couple thousand acres out there overnight and into this morning. And we're seeing some of the effects of that here in the Treasure Valley. May Marina looking nice again this morning. Cloud cover kind of keeping it cool and kind of mysterious looking out there so far, but temperatures really nice out there for this weekend. And again, that Redfish Lake camera looking beautiful as ever out here. A little bit choppier waters today. However, that's because we got some of that moisture in those storms that moved through the area, kind of churning some of the air up out there. Treasure Valley Day Planner, noon hour, about 80 degrees. By about 4 o'clock, that's when we kind of got to start paying attention to the southern skies out there. 90 by about 6 o'clock out there, and then we cooling into the evening out there by 10 o'clock. Magic Valley looking decent as well. We got plenty of sunny skies here. However, this afternoon we'll have to keep our eyes on the skies for those storms that are pushing through. That'll probably start bubbling up about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Temperatures in the mid 80s for many locations here. Looking at the Magic Valley, speaking of which, getting up to about 89, we could see a few more hazy skies here as well. Twin Falls is also seeing some of that haze. Shoshone, 87 degrees out there, partly cloudy skies. Central Mountain locations, Stanley and Sun Valley could see one of those scattered showers or a rumble of thunder throughout the afternoon. 82 for Haley and Fairfield, partly cloudy skies here. Long Valley, looking at McCall, Donley, Cascade, mid 70s for many locations here. This is one of the areas that could see a rumble of thunder or a scattered shower throughout the afternoon. Riggins and Council being the warm spots here, also seeing that chance of thunderstorms. Taking a look at the 7-day for the Treasure Valley here, 90 today. It's scattered shower, isolated thunderstorm or two possible throughout the weekend. And as we get into Monday, we have a cool front that's going to push in, bringing in some cooler temperatures, bringing in some drier conditions, pushing that moisture to the east finally. And we really set up a nice week out there weather-wise. Temperatures about 10 degrees below average come Monday. You can get your latest forecast online at ktvb.com.
When we come back, it's time to head for California, where we'll find out if their cooler weather will continue. Stay with us. Well, thanks for sticking with us. We're now going to take a look at the Golden State's forecast, starting with Northern California. Meteorologist Monica Woods takes a look back at one of the coolest summer months on record for Sacramento, but August might be a different story.
I'm meteorologist Monica Woods. Northern and Central California regional headlines heading into this first weekend of August. Morning fog, afternoon sun for the coast. For the valley, near average, mostly sunny for the foothills, still tracking a few of those thunderstorms in only parts of this year. Our regional view, starting off with clear skies. We've got the Amador County Fair going on this weekend. Sutter County looking beautiful. Marin County near the coast, we've got fog, but some partial afternoon clearing. July wrapping up as one of the coolest on record for Sacramento. Average high 89.4 degrees, only one day in the 100s with 20 days below average. And we're talking 5 to 15 degrees below average. Quite a contrast to last year, which ended up as one of the hottest on records, 16 days in the 100s. This year, as I mentioned, one day in the 100s. Even our average low was unseasonably cool as well. Hard to say goodbye to this past July. And this was really throughout the entire state, especially along the coast, where we were deep into below average temperatures, even for places like San Francisco, which for June and July, when we take a look at the beginning of summer, 31st coolest start to our summer season with an average high of 63.8 degrees. For Sacramento, we're going to come in at the 76th coolest, but keep in mind those records go all the way back to 1877. Our look up at Tahoe should be a beautiful weekend for the Tahoe Basin, less in the way of thunderstorms there. Highs in the 70s for this first weekend of August. If you're headed over to wine country, a mix of sun and clouds. Our highs in the 80s, gorgeous for those vineyards this time of year. And for Santa Cruz, doing some surfing, our water temperature is chilly in the 50s and 60s. UV index is going to be high. Wave heights between about 3 and 4.5 feet, with those winds out of the west at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Those westerly winds actually keeping us from widespread 100s throughout the region. A few thunderstorms in the northern part of the state, but outside of that, the Tahoe Basin remains shower-free, as well as near Yosemite. We'll see some of those thunderstorms up towards the northern part of the state. So all in all, this time of year, always got to be weather ready. Be prepared for those changing conditions with just a slight chance of isolated thunderstorms developing mainly north of I-80. Highs will be near 80 for the Tahoe Basin with 90s down low for the foothills. Towards Yosemite, we've got a high of 82 near 100 as we dig a little bit into the Central Valley. We'll see that as well for Mendota as well as Visalia at 101 for the afternoon for that Friday temperature, 60s and 70s along the coast. But again, we've got the morning fog, afternoon clearing, highs in the 60s for the Bay Area, including Point Reyes at 71 degrees, San Francisco 67, Pacifica only 62 for our Friday forecast, high 90s as we head inland. Northwest coast, we've got areas of fog, afternoon clearing, 61 for Fort Bragg. Move it inland, highs will be closer to 100, including Redding up to 101 for that Friday forecast, first day of August, starting off on the toasty side, near 90 as we head up towards Quincy. I look at our Friday temperatures through the Central Valley. Near Sacramento's 93 degrees. Closer to the northern San Joaquin Valley, we're looking at mid-90s this afternoon. But again, sunny skies prevail. I'll look at our mountain forecast for this first weekend of August. Highs in the 70s with mostly sunny skies, even into early next week as well. We'll be in the 80s to near 90 for the foothills, with highs dropping a bit by Monday. A bit of a cooling trend taking shape by early next week. And then for the coast, we've got a mix of sun and clouds. Those highs are going to be in the 60s through the weekend, and then we're back near 70 as we head towards next week. Our extended forecast for the first 7 days of August, we've got highs dropping just a bit Sunday into Monday. Those are going to be the coolest days of our 10-day outlook, which includes a bit of a warm-up coming into play by the middle and end of next week. Highs in the upper 90s to near 100.
We now head down to sunny Southern California, where they are also seeing an end to the cooler summer weather. Meteorologist Vanessa Paz has more.
Well, happy Friday, everyone, from San Diego, California. I'm CBS 8 meteorologist Vanessa Paz. As we say goodbye to July and hello to August, things are going to start off on a warm note, especially once we talk about the first full week of August here in San Diego. All right, this is what it looked like earlier across our beaches. Somewhat cloudy conditions, but most of those clouds will retreat back offshore as we progress through Friday afternoon. As we wrap up July, here's what we have at a glance. This is all data from San Diego International Airport, which is where most of our numbers are recorded for downtown San Diego. The average high for July was 73 degrees. Sure, the coastal areas where our airport is located is usually cooler, but again, this is a lot cooler, especially in comparison to last year, where the average was closer to 80 degrees for that same location. The rain recorded at San Diego International, nearly nothing. We had 0 inches of rain. It was pretty bone dry from the coast all the way towards the inland valleys, which it typically is for this time of year. The warmest day was mid-July at 81 degrees, and the airport hit the coolest day early July 2nd at 70 degrees. The Climate Prediction Center released their outlook for the month of August, and for here in San Diego County, it looks like we'll just be about half or shy of below average when it comes to the temperatures that we're looking forward to for August. All right, as we transition to a new month, here are the weather headlines that we can look forward to. An incoming warm up, especially when we talk about interior parts of the county. We do have an elevated heat risk, specifically for the deserts, the closer we get to next week. It will be extremely warm. Those daytime highs will get closer to that 110 range. And we do have the possibility for some monsoon of moisture to sweep in later next week. After After all, we are in the peak of monsoonal season, and we have yet to see a lot of moisture or thunderstorms in our interior parts of the county due to that. Today's forecast will top out in the mid-70s for the coastal areas. The inland and mountains will produce highs in the high 60s and low 90s this afternoon, and we'll be inching near that 110 mark for our desert communities. Tonight is going to be a cool one, especially when we talk about the coastal areas. We'll be in the low 60s there. Similar conditions later on tonight for the inland valleys, but those areas closer to the mountains, including Ramona, we'll see overnight lows dropping down to the low 50s. All right, tomorrow is going to be very nice here across San Diego County. We're looking at daytime highs anywhere between the mid to high 70s for the coastal spots. Vista, which is a little more inland, will top out in the 80s, 70s in Chula Vista, 90s meanwhile for the inland valleys. In comparison to normal, aka our 30-year average, will be just above our 30-year normal. So anywhere between about 1 to 3 degrees or so, and we'll be just shy of our 30-year normal when it comes to the coastline. That ridge of high pressure is going to sit nice and comfortable over Southern California for the next several days, but in will be this area of low pressure. That's going to drop down low eventually towards the middle of the week, and that's going to keep things pretty much at bay looking ahead to the start of August. For the coastal areas, very small changes. It's going to be really warm though. I mean, we're talking low 80s for the coastal spots. So a lot of people usually beat the heat by heading west towards the beaches because we're in the 70s. Not really the case. It's still going to be warm, especially closer to the immediate coast as well. The inland valleys will see highs pushing in the high 80s, close to 90 degrees, all the way through the middle of the next week. We have a little bump in temperatures looking ahead to next Thursday. We'll hit highs in the mid to low 90s by then. And a quick look at your mountain 7-day forecast. 90s, low 90s is going to be the trend all the way through about Tuesday, and then those temperatures start to soar closer to the triple digits. In fact, by next Thursday, spots like Julian, which is a popular mountain neighborhood here in San Diego, could top out in the low hundreds. We'll be nearing 115 by the end of the next week for deserts.
And coming up, we travel back to the Pacific Northwest. Your Portland and Seattle forecasts are next. Plus, later on, the Farmer's Almanac just dropped its fall forecast. Find out what it says for what we have in store for the weather in the coming months. We'll be right back. Thanks for sticking with us here on Weather Out West. We now turn to the Rose City in Oregon, where meteorologist Rod Hill starts the month with some good news about the wildfires.
On a Friday, really pretty down here in Portland. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill with your weather update for the beautiful Rose City. Our overwhelming headline is the fact that, again, we're going to see scattered thunderstorms east of the Cascades today. We've seen this fire up every day going back to Monday. But today, we've been getting this many storms every day. Today, we're going to get like that many storms, so a far less number. Nonetheless, you know, we are still in the convective outlook from the Weather Service and the possibility of scattered storms absolutely in the forecast. Here's the way Futurecast shows it. We've had clouds and even fog along the coast this morning. This shows as we get going toward noon, we could see things start to break out along the coast and clear out somewhat. A few showers out east. And again, here we are at 4. Thunderstorms east of La Grande and Baker City, and some storms approaching our vacation resort areas up into central Oregon. But again, not as many storms as what we've been seeing. To the point that the Weather Service actually dropped the red flag warning for high fire danger because of less lightning threat today. And really going all the way back to Monday, we've been fortunate. We haven't had that many fire starts because a lot of the lightning has been accompanied with heavy downpours, beneficial rains. So we had anywhere from 1/10 to an inch to over 3/4 of an inch of rain in some of those spotty downpours just yesterday. Let's continue into your weekend. This is Saturday morning. Another push of marine clouds along our coast. Some clouds into Portland in the morning to start, but then those clouds will go away and we'll have a nice Saturday afternoon. More scattered storms tomorrow afternoon, evening out across areas of central and eastern Oregon, but again, not the amount of activity that we have been seeing. In fact, on this very first day of August, this is the large fire map across our 2 states. The only large name fires burning in Oregon, there's only 2 of them. The Lost Tom and the Rock Creek. Both are just burning in grasslands near the Idaho border, and I believe I'm correct when I say there are no residences threatened. And then with the exception of the Burdoin fire, which is in Skamania County on the Washington side of the gorge, that's mainly contained. The other fires in Washington, there are 7 total, are up across the northern third of the state. So for the first day of August, I don't remember on this date the fire map being so quiet. So knock on wood, that's good news. Let's hope we get through August without any significant new fire starts. Our live cameras for you on a Friday. Again, we've got the clouds that start along the coast. Our Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City, but we're looking for partial clarity today. It's partly cloudy over our mountain, we like to call it, Mount Hood. Timberline Lodge camera looking out over the summit. It's been warm up there. It could be 70 at 6,000 feet on a Timberline today. Here is how we're starting off in Portland. Just beautiful sunshine out there. Our forecast numbers for a Friday, first day of August. Morning clouds, partly cloudy afternoon in many areas, maybe not all, but many, and temperatures generally staying in the 60s along the coast today. Out in the Columbia River Gorge, people going out to recreate. West winds, just kind of a typical breeze, nothing extreme, 10 to top gust to 25 miles per hour. Hood River in the mid-80s. The Dalles will be a little bit warmer, getting up to around 91 degrees. And here in the valley, down in the Salem area, it'll be warm to hot. We're taking a look at 88-degree temperatures for a forecast high. Light northwest winds. Be a little bit cooler than that in Portland. I've got us in the mid-80s and across our entire region at 6 o'clock. This is the way the map looks. The scattered storm threat in central and eastern Oregon, but again, less activity than previous days this week. And you can see there will be a couple of exceptions, but most inland areas today will be in the 80s. Okay, first 7-day forecast of our new month, and we'll go mostly sunny, 84 in Portland, which, by the way, is the exact climate high for Portland for the first day of August. Tomorrow, clouds of sun, 81, and then the cool down, 77 on Sunday, partly cloudy. We could be in the 70s down here, really comfortable all the way into Tuesday. We're eyeing the chance of literally a raindrop or two late Tuesday into Wednesday morning of next week. Right now, it looks like Thursday starts to warm back up with a forecast high of 84.
Well, here in Seattle, it's Seafair weekend with Fleet Week, Hydro races, and the Blue Angels. Everybody is focused on the weather, as you might imagine. And earlier today, I was out at Boeing Field where they actually let me near the Blue Angels aircraft. Here is my latest Seafair forecast. I'm King 5 meteorologist Rich Marriott here at Boeing Field for Seafair this weekend in Seattle and for the Blue Angels. We're right here on the flight line out at Boeing Field, and it's going to be a great weekend to get out and enjoy all the events that are going on, especially the air show that the Blue Angels put on, which is always an experience to get out to watch and to hear around Western Washington. If we take a look at the Doppler radar, we did have showers yesterday afternoon in the Cascades. The Cascades got actually some pretty good showers up there. They also saw quite a few lightning strikes, unfortunately, around the Methow Valley. They did see some wildfires start there due to the lightning strikes, unfortunately, but they are working on containing those, and the conditions will be a little bit better today than what they had yesterday, so that should be a plus for firefighters over there. But the showers that are left over are primarily over in the eastern portion of the state at the moment. We'll see those pop up again today in the Cascades, on both sides of the Cascades, but there'll be fewer of them and hopefully a little bit less lightning up there in the North Cascades than what they saw yesterday. Beautiful day of developing around Western Washington. See, we've got, as we take a look out there, we've got a really nice looking morning there at Granite Falls, plenty of sunshine, and we did see that marine deck move in over part of the area a little bit earlier, but there in Tacoma, where they were completely covered by those marine clouds, already starting to see that sun went out, and that is going to be the story for today and tomorrow. Those morning clouds disappearing pretty quickly. Our first alert 7-day forecast, you can see that reflected partly in the temperatures, so we're going to be in the 70s to the low 80s. We do see those clouds persist a little bit longer on Sunday. May not see burn off of the clouds until in the afternoon, but I don't think it's going to affect the Blue Angels performance at all, or all the hydro races. Looking at next week, we do start off with partly sunny and dry conditions, but we might actually develop a few showers as we head towards mid to late next week. So that'll be a change of pace for us if we actually do get some showers. We do continue to see smoke out of the Mason County fires. We put that smoke model into motion. You can see still quite a bit of smoke coming out of there. Fortunately, at the surface, the real concentrations of that smoke basically staying near the fire. Once you get away from that, really not affecting the air quality anywhere, so that's definitely a plus. You can see we're expecting good air quality today from all of Western Washington, and for Saturday as well, we'll continue to see basically good air quality just about everywhere. Taking a look at what's going on up in the mountains today. It's a pretty nice day to get up and do a little bit of hiking. If you want to get away from the jet sounds, you can head up to the mountains. They're in the Olympics, things looking pretty nice. And also a little bit of smoke haze still showing up there around the Cascades or around Paradise, but not too bad and not really affecting air quality there as well. Our mountain forecasts are looking pretty good. We're expecting to see sunshine. Temperatures mostly in the low 70s at the highway pass levels. There is a slight chance of seeing an afternoon shower or a thunderstorm, so definitely take your rain gear with you. And of course, if you hear any thunder, be pretty careful about where you travel at that point. And it looks like another good day headed our way as we head into Saturday, with those high temperatures staying mostly in the low 70s. So around Puget Sound today, we're going to see the temperatures mostly in the mid 70s to the north and upper 70s and low 80s from about Seattle southward. As we head into Saturday, we'll see the temperatures maybe cool a couple degrees, but they should fall off a little bit more as we head into Sunday, and we see that marine deck persist a little bit longer than it does earlier in the weekend. Overall, looking at that extended forecast today and tomorrow, sunshine, temperatures 70s and low 80s. As we head into Sunday, probably have a pretty good deck of marine clouds in the morning into early afternoon, but the Blue Angels performance and the finals of the Hydras are all in the mid to late afternoon, so should be cleared out by then, so shouldn't be any problems from the weather for both of those activities. As we head into Monday and Tuesday, some morning clouds, otherwise basically partly sunny, temperatures into the mid 70s. Wednesday, we'll see the clouds kind of increase. Could see a chance of a few showers developing as we head towards later on Wednesday, and then maybe some showers around Thursday with those high temperatures running mostly in the mid 70s. And finally, as we head on into a little bit farther into the month of August, you'll see those temperatures begin to warm back up, getting into the mid 80s as we head towards the 10th and 11th of the month. Actually, it wouldn't let me get too close to the Blue Angels aircraft. After the break, we zoom out from the west and take a look at the national forecast, where after a week of hot temperatures, it looks like cooler weather is finally making its way to the East Coast. Stay with us. Welcome back to Weather Out West. We now turn to meteorologist Julie Martin for the national forecast. She's tracking cooler temperatures for the East Coast and some storms for the Midwest.
Finally, some cooler air starts to make its way into the hot spots in the southeast, and we are looking at the possibility of some localized flash flooding in the Carolinas. Fire danger continuing in the west, but temperature-wise, take a look here. Across the deep south, we're still in the 90s for the most part, from Huntsville to Charlotte and Atlanta. But those are the low to mid 90s, not the high 90s or triple digits as we have been dealing with. Comfortable around the Great Lakes with the 70s and 80s, and really comfortable in the mid-Atlantic up through the northeast as well with those high 70s. We'll see the 80s here along the Pacific Northwest, 94 in Sacramento, 86 in Denver. All right, the feels like forecast, this is when the humidity is factored in, and it does look more comfortable in general across the really hot areas that we've been seeing. So Memphis will still be feeling like 92 for your Friday. Atlanta, Huntsville, and then into Florida still feeling quite hot. High 90s over to 100 plus degrees. So still feeling the heat there. Comfortable around the Great Lakes, as I mentioned, feeling like we're in the 70s, but a drier air mass is going to be moving into those hot areas, and we're really going to cool things down heading into the weekend. Take a look at this. Atlanta, you're going to be topping out at 80 degrees here on Saturday. Atlanta, we was in the triple digits on Tuesday. Raleigh, a nice break for you at 83. We'll see 80 in New York City, 80 in Seattle, 77 there in LA. And then even better on Sunday, we're going to back temperatures off a couple of degrees in the southeast, 77 in Atlanta, 92 in New Orleans still, but that's better than it was, 78 in Kansas City, 81 in Chicago, and we'll see 69, so running a bit chilly there in San Francisco. All right, here is that severe weather outlook. It is a level 1 out of 5, so a very slight risk of some stronger storms developing in the Carolinas into Georgia, and that could prompt some localized flooding. Same goes for you here along the Front Range, but again, that's a very minimal risk. Okay, here are those temperatures as we do head to the west. Seattle, Spokane, and Portland, all beautiful sunny skies with the 70s and 80s. Boise, you'll be in the 90s. Heading into the west southwest, we are looking at Sacramento in the mid-90s, dropping back to 90. Phoenix staying hot in the triple digits, and Denver climbing up to around 80 on Sunday. Lone Star State stays hot. We are going from the triple digits, though, or the high 90s to the mid-90s. So for most of us, an improvement. Improvements here all across the map here in the deep south. Little Rock, you'll be around 90 degrees. New Orleans in the 90s, and then Atlanta, as I mentioned, that really comfortable air moves in. Still hot in Tampa, though. We've got the mid-90s on the board. Here in St. Louis, beautiful conditions, sunshine and 80s. Memphis climbing up to 90 by Sunday. Charlotte, a great break for you with the high 70s and low 80s. Enjoy that. And Louisville, nice for you as well with those 80s. Here's a look at the Midwest. We've got Minneapolis around 80 degrees. Des Moines, Iowa in the high 70s, so really comfortable there. And Grand Rapids right around 83. Looking nice here in the east as well. From Norfolk to Portland, we've got those 80s in the forecast.
And when we come back, we'll check out the Farmer's Almanac's fall forecast and compare its forecast to the models we have. We'll be right back. The Farmer's Almanac just released their fall forecast, and for those of you who aren't farmers, the Almanac has provided weather forecasts for more than 200 years. They claim the forecasts rely on a closely guarded proprietary formula to make the predictions. They also claim the predictions are about 80% accurate, while according to the University of Illinois study, they say the Almanac is 52% accurate. Seattle's King 5's Adam Claybone does go over the Almanac's predictions and compares it to the raw model data and Climate Prediction Center's forecast for this fall.
Hey there, everyone. I'm meteorologist Adam Claybon, and it's going to be time for us to talk about one of the latest forecasts that come out for the fall season, and that's the Farmer's Almanac's forecast. And it's showing that conditions could be quite a bit warmer here than normal as we head on into the upcoming fall season. Now, we're going to talk about that, but we're also going to go over how that kind of compares to what's going to be going on with our raw model data, as well as the Climate Prediction Center's forecast heading on into the upcoming fall. So we're going to talk about all of that. This is not going to be one of those forecasts in these videos where we're saying, yeah, this is exactly going to happen, but kind of giving a comparison of the three to kind of give you an idea of what could be ahead for us heading on into the coming months. Did want to start off with the Farmer's Almanac's forecast, and you can see that we do have a big area of different colors. I mean, red for sure is the one that pops out to you, and the red colors are indicating those areas where we're expecting conditions to be warmer than normal and also drier than normal. Now, as far as the yellows, those are where conditions are expected to be cooler and drier than normal, and the oranges are where we're expecting conditions to be, or at least the Farmer's Almanac is expecting to be, wetter than normal as well as warmer than normal. You can see for those of us across the Pacific Northwest that we do have wetter and warmer than normal conditions in the forecast from the Farmer's Almanac heading on into fall. While farther down the coast here, Southern California, San Diego, could be dealing with cooler and drier than normal conditions, and then a large swath of red popping up. That includes us there in Spokane, in areas such as Boise, down towards Phoenix as well, in Denver, being warmer and drier than normal. Now, keep this visual in your head because I'm going to show you that a lot of this kind of aligns to what the Farmer's Almanac is saying, to what the Climate Prediction Center is saying, and also to what raw model data is saying. Now, there's a little bit of a difference. This is the European model, and you can see the deeper oranges and some of those yellows are popping up here across more the center and eastern part of the country. So it's indicating that there's a higher likelihood of conditions being quite a bit warmer as you go farther to the east, but you do see also some of those yellows here across the western part of the U.S. where we are. And as you get closer to more of the coast, conditions may be being closer to more of those normals along the immediate coastline. So that's, again, the European model's raw data here for the upcoming fall season. As far as precipitation is concerned, you can see conditions are expected to be wetter than normal here across the Pacific Northwest. Again, kind of aligning with what the Farmer's Almanac's forecast is indicating. And then you can see more of the drier than normal conditions indicated by the brown that you have farther south across the desert Southwest and heading farther east across the country. So kind of coming hand in hand with what they're expecting the raw data, as well as more of what the Farmer's Almanac is saying. And then we also have this, the Climate Prediction Center's forecast, which you can see a big area of orange popping up here across more of the Four Corners area, and that kind of is leaning more towards what the Farmer's Almanac was saying, that we're going to have the higher chances of things being warmer than normal here across this part of the country, which does include us here closer to Denver, up towards Boise, and also expecting things to be warmer than normal across the coastlines, maybe just not quite as warm. And while as far as precipitation, we do also expect that to be closer to normal, and this is the little bit of the difference that we're seeing here from the Climate Prediction Center. Up towards the Pacific Northwest, we were seeing wetter than normal conditions on the raw model data from the European as well as from the Farmer's Almanac, while here saying that we have equal chances without any of that shading popping up here across areas such as Portland and Seattle, and down towards San Diego too, where it looks like we'll have those equal chances yet again, but kind of good a chance of seeing things staying drier than normal up this way around more Boise and heading down here across the Rockies as we head closer to Denver. So we'll see exactly what happens. Farmer's Almanac says that their accuracy rate is about 80% chance, or an 80% rate of being more correct. So we'll see if that's the case or not, and we'll see if things are expected to be a bit closer to what the Climate Prediction Center is saying as we head into the upcoming fall.
Well, fortunately, we have more summer ahead of us, so we can worry about fall a little later on. And that does it for us here on Weather Out West. I'm meteorologist Rich Marriott. Thank you so much for being with us today. Be sure to join us on Monday for our next Weather Out West.